how I knew my true love was true. I, of course, replied, something here inside cannot be denied. They said someday you'll find all who love are blind. When your heart's on fire, you must realize smoke gets in your eyes. So I chop them and I get it up who think they could doubt my love. Yet today my love is flown away. I am without my love. Now laughing friends deride, tears I cannot hide. So I smile and say, when a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your eyes. Laughing friends we ride, tears I cannot hide. So I smile and say, when a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your
Hey y'all, started a song out from the year of the happenings that we're going to talk about in our Hollywood Glitz and Grime series that we were talking about doing. Getting into the shady parts of the old days, you know? Sneaky, shady underdealings of Hollywood or Hollywoodland. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Y'all doing good?
I'm doing good.
I'm glad you're doing good, Sage.
Oh,
Sage is doing great. Hope everyone else is.
I'm doing great because you're all talking about one of my favorite eras.
Of course. We're going to talk about
Dark.
So, if you have heard of Peg Entwistle, put a 1 in chat. Some people have and some people haven't. It's kind of an old story. It goes clear back to 1932. Yeah. Get into a little background of who she is or who she was and what happened to her. Ooh, you're gonna like this. Peg Entwistle was a actress. She was a stage performer in New York, and then she moved out to Hollywood. She wasn't a bass player for the Who, though. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Uh, but she was British, though. You know, you got at least that right. I mean, she was British by birth, anyway. Her parents were British. By all accounts. Um, have y'all heard of the haunting of the Hollywood sign? Put a one in chat if you've heard about that. The haunting of the Hollywood sign. So, Peg Entwistle. Okay, yeah, okay, some have heard about it. So basically, the famous Hollywood sign, right, that we see up, um, it was actually like put up in 1923 as kind of a promotional kind of deal for that neighborhood. They were promoting the development of that part of the city. Okay. Tinseltown, yes, okay. Um, and it originally said Hollywood Land, but they took the land part off of the sign in 1949. But in 1923, when they erected it, it had bulbs in it and everything, so it lit up the evening sky. Um, but it's different now. Everything's been changed over the years. Um, they had to redo part of it in 1939 because after 16 years it kind of went into disrepair. Being up there, you can imagine that wind and everything else might knock some stuff out, and with it being like the Great Depression and everything during the 30s, they really didn't take the money or the efforts to keep it up. Crouton, you feisty thing, you. Crouton's a superstar. So, one might ask, who is Peg Entwistle? Okay. Well, she was born Millicent. Um, I can't recall her middle name, I'll be honest with that, but Peg Entwistle. And she was born in England in February 5th, 1908. And her parents divorced when she was fairly young. And her father took her to New York City when she was 5. Okay, because he was an actor, he was a stage actor, and he wanted to try his hand at acting on Broadway, right? So he took her over there, and I believe he remarried. Um, and his name was Robert Entwistle. Okay, uh, he was killed in a hit and run accident on Park Avenue and 72nd Street in 1922. So they moved there in 1913. So he died 9 years later when she was, what, 13, 14 years old. So her and her stepmom and her 2 younger siblings, by her stepmother, ended up moving in with an uncle who was a manager, like a manager there for people on Broadway. Anyway, and they stayed with him. And then Peg pursued an acting career in theater on Broadway and actually had decent roles. So she was doing pretty well on Broadway. Could feed herself, you know. And she decided, hey, I want to take this step further. I'm gonna go ahead and try my hand at films. Like, she was gonna go pursue a career in motion pictures. So in 1932, like early 1932, she moved to Hollywoodland, and she got a role in the play The Mad Hopes, starring Billy Burke, who I guess he was a pretty good actor back then. After that, she got a supporting role in what would be her only movie, and for RKO, and it was called 13 Women. And at that time, there was actually kind of an undertone to the movie of what they would consider homosexual or, lesbian undertones. So that was a no-no, and so a lot of her shots and her screen parts were they ended up on the cutting room floor, let's be honest. And she became really depressed and downtrodden, and it kind of put her in her slump. Okay. So in September of 1932, so mind you, she just moved out there. She hadn't been out there that long, you know. Um, September 16th, 1932, she was staying with her uncle in Beechwood Canyon. And Peg told her uncle, hey, I'm going to go out for a walk. And that was the last time he saw her. Alive, anyway. 2 days later, on September 18th, 1932, a woman hiking on the trails up there in the Hollywood Hills, basically, found a shoe and other belongings beneath the Hollywoodland sign. Now, this kind of like made her question things like, why would anybody leave this here? And, you know, what's going on? So she reported it to the police because she found a shoe and other belongings. Um, so the police came up to investigate what was going on, and they discovered Peg's body in a ravine below the sign. And then when they took it in, her uncle had to ID her. Okay. Um, Now, they believed she could have been under the influence or intoxicated, and then like climbed up on the ladder of the H sign on the H, and then jumped. That was what investigators believed at the time. They also found a note in her purse, in her handbag, and the note read, I'm afraid I am a coward. I'm sorry for everything. If I had done this a long time ago, it would have saved a lot of pain. Signed, P.E., Peg Entwistle. Interestingly enough, a few days later, in the mail to her living quarters at her uncle's, there was an offer. She was actually sent an offer for a role um, to portray a woman who commits suicide. And this was sent to her by the Beverly Hills Playhouse for a play. So that's kind of ironic, isn't it? Um, and then, we'll get into some of the sightings and stuff, and then Mr. G's gonna come on and talk about some of the creepy stuff that goes on. Yeah, kind of weird, isn't it? That would come in the mail. They said within days, this came in the mail, an offer from, because she was, back then, when you came out, when you were in anything, you're in the guild, right? You're in the Screen Actors Guild or the Actors Guild. and you have to sign up for this stuff, and she gets an offer for a role. It's like, wow, seriously. Like, it's insane. But I was like, wow.
Willie customize and save $652 with Liberty Mutual. He's got it.
So that's what happened to her, and that's where she came from.
Dinah, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is and you know her, show her to me. Dinah, got those Dixie eyes blazing. How I love to sit and gaze to the eyes of Dinah Lee. Every night, why do I shake with pride? 'Cause my dynamite change your mind about me. Oh, Dinah, should you wander to China, I would hop an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee. Dinah, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is, then you know it, sure to me. Dinah, where the Dixie eyes blazing, I would love sitting gazing to the eyes Dinah Lee. My Dinah every night, why should I shake with pride? Because my dynamite changed her mind about me. Dinah, if you wanted to China, I would have an ocean liner. Just to be with Dinah, every night, why do I shake with pride? 'Cause my dynamite changed her mind about me. The name of this song is Dinah. That is the name of this song is Dinah. Aggie. The name of this song is Dinah. Tell it. The name of this song is Dinah. Dinah, wanted to China, native Carolina. Then you know where I would like to have you. Show it to me, Dinah. Got those Dixie eyes blazing. I want up to sit and gazing to the eyes of Dinah Lee. Oh, Dinah, should you wander to China, would give me an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee.
Yeah, I'm playing music that, if you think about it, this is music she would have been listening to before she passed. So, kind of puts us in, I guess, time frame.
A lot of scout was in the 50s, actually.
Nope, 1932. Anyway, now there's been several sightings over the years of what is believed to be Peg. There's a woman that wanders through Beechwood Canyon Pass because her uncle, when she lived in Beechwood Canyon, and there's a road that goes through to the Hollywood sign. In 1990, a couple with a dog Saw a woman dressed in 1930s apparel. The dog sensed it first and was barking at what seemed like nothing. And eventually, out of like a mist, appeared a woman to this couple, and they reported it. And let's see, in the 2000s, there were four friends that went up there, and one of them kind of rolled down the hill a little and ended up seeing this woman coming down. Um, uh, and the others saw a couple others witnessed it too. Um, park rangers at or a park ranger at Griffith Park, which is right up there, um, has seen her repeatedly, and says he senses or he smells gardenias, and I guess she was known for that. Uh, hikers have seen her like glide. Um, so, and there's even been reports of the land being cursed before that was even up there. The original landowners and stuff. It's it's a lot of stuff to going on there, but I'll have Mr. G come on in a little bit and talk about the paranormal side of it. But, feel free to. You saw her at IHOP, Mark. Oh, was she getting some pancakes there? Trying out the boysenberry syrup and stuff. Like, whoa, this is some good stuff. Pass me the butter. But it has to be salted butter. Seen her also. Dogman has seen her also, from what you heard, Mark. I bet, right? It's a wooded area, right? Bless your heart there, Mark. Bless your heart. Uh, but it's kind of neat knowing that, you know, so many sightings over the years. If you think about that, 1932, 90 years of sightings. 90 years of sightings. Hey, Blues. Hi, sweetheart. Good to see you. Did you see we're starting the Hollywood Glitz and Grime series? Made Peg Entwistle the first one. It's a, I tell you what, that girl has had it rough, I guess. Mr. G will be on here in a few minutes to talk about the uh, paranormal side of it, which would be fun. So that ought to be fun. Yeah, she didn't make it big like she wanted to, but she only came out there the same year, which is nuts. You know, it's like that she would give up so early, you know? Like, she came out in 1932 and she jumped the same year. And she already got two roles in this. So that's more than a lot of them get.
You, night and day. You are the one, only you, beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are, I think of night and day and night. Why is it so that this longing for you follows wherever I go? In the roaring
She actually did make it, or she was making it big on Broadway and did really well on Broadway. And came out to Hollywood in 1932 to try films. And that's what I was going over. It was like she got in a play, she did well in the play, and then she was in 13 Women, and a lot of that got cut, and then she got depressed. Mark, she got sick of the weird music, huh? Yes. But it kind of begs one to wonder if um, all these people keep seeing her walking through the canyon and they see her on the trails or they see her. There's been a lot of reported sightings of seeing a woman jump from the H on the Hollywood sign. So it makes you wonder if she's a residual haunting, not an intelligent haunting. Seven more days of that medication, 71? Hoi! It's almost a nightmare in itself. Yes, if you're going to have hallucinations, make them be good ones, right? They should at least be good hallucinations. I'm just buying time until Mr. G gets here. He's eating right now. Someone will be decapitated in the next hallucination. Well, hopefully it isn't me. I hope not. Oh, hey, Mr. G. Do you want to come up or do you just want to do it from your keyboard? Yeah, stay away from the Dahmer series there. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Sorry, can you hear that in the background? It's an ice cream truck. Talk about creepy. Have not seen an ice cream truck almost all summer, and this weird ass ice cream truck is playing music going by real slow, and I live in a cul-de-sac. Like, yeah. Talks about horror movies. Yep. Oh, here it comes back. Oh, wow. There's this big dude with like 3 kids dangling off of him, literally, waiting for that ice cream truck to come back. Oh, that's so creepy. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Ice cream truck would be like coming by at this time. Well, dang, Skippy, right? Texas, you need to be blamed for everything. No, I'm just kidding. Wow, I tell you. And it makes you wonder. It's like, was this girl so sensitive? I mean, that she just gave up that soon? Oh my gosh. Really? Texas? At my old apartment before this one, we had an ice cream truck that played La Cucaracha. I'm like, nope. That was some creepy. I mean, that was some creepy music that was playing though. That this, I've never heard the ice cream truck play that song. In fact, usually they just go ding, 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 and the kids around here would like, oh, the ding, ding man is here. You know, at the ice cream truck. I tell you what, I am going to drop the link. If anybody would like to pop up, if you want to, you can pop up and click on and chit chat about it. Heck, Texas used to live in California. I'm sure you saw a lot of creepy things. Oh yes, 71, definitely on Mama duty. I should just, yeah. Hope everybody's just chilling out over here, enjoying the chillness of the day. Oh, you were there for the 1989 earthquake? Holy cannoli, buddy. That's, wow. That's nuts. All the pills somebody when is taking. I wonder if her mother is even there. Nice one, Mark. Oh, snap, bro. Oh. Texas. I gotta email you, dude. Sure, Mark. You're just kidding. Huh. You know, the first time I heard about her suicide or whatever, or her death, whatever, I thought, oh, watch this be some fake thing, or be an actual homicide. Look at us all just chilling out. Everything else is going crazy outside this room, you know that, right? You're doing your dishes, Blues Girl. All right. I think I'm going to cover the disappearance of another actress in 1949, maybe for the next one of this series, anyway. I think I'll do the Hollywood ones on Friday, and I want to start with the Mafia ones. Get them a set day, too. Yeah, right? We'll dedicate Friday nights to Hollywood, and then we'll pick another night for just our Mafia stuff. What do you think, Blues? Sound good? Well, I tell you what, Sage is excited for that. She wants to. She's all up on that whole Capone, yeah. It's like a little bit deeper than that, honey. There's a lot more than just Capone to cover. I went to high school with a girl. Her dad ended up in a trunk. Wow. Turned out he was a hitman. True story. Here's something. Years and years and years ago, I dated a guy for a short period of time. whose dad was a runner, like ran, like, don't open this package, bring it to this place. Yeah. He was not supposed to look at the packages, and he looked at the package once. A week later, I mean, he was tempted. He said there was so much money in this that he was just going to catch a plane to nowhere, And his two sons said, nope, 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 not worth it. And he ended up had a heart attack. Was on a nicotine patch. Had a heart attack 2 weeks later. So, yeah. You don't mess with, not even in today's day and age. I shouldn't say that. That happened in the 90s, but still, you don't mess with packages. What was odd there, Mr. G? Oops. I just knocked your wallet down, Mr. G. You got logged off of everything? Yikes. It doesn't want you to know. Peg Entwistle doesn't want you telling her story, does she? Oh my gosh, like I went to this girl's house and did reports and all. Oh my god, it freaked. I bet, I bet. But that's when you were living in Chicago. Oh, oh, I see you, dude. Oh, I'll put it up again. Okay, there we go.
So I'm supposed to cover the paranormal, I guess.
Yeah, the Hollywood sign haunting.
Um, Strange things that happen. Around that same time period, there were actually several people, actually several ladies, that committed suicide by jumping off the Hollywood sign. Um, there are three, or were three, that were Jane Does. No one knew. No one knows to this day who they were. And then, of course, there's Peg. That's the most famous one you hear about. Um, that a haunting is, I'm not going to say it's totally unique because there are other ones, but it's on the rare side because there is um, obvious uh, residual
Mm-hmm.
things that are going on. The people seeing her jump off the sign, the repeated paths that they see her on. Um, but there's also things where they don't always, that are the oddballs that um, they have. She's been seen very rarely. Peg has been seen very rarely walking along the road. Um, in 1932, um, she has been seen by a couple paranormal groups before they blocked it off. Uh, Basically flashing is the best way to describe it. She's been seen at the bottom of the sign, and then all of a sudden she appears uh, with uh, someone coming toward them, or with someone coming at them. I should have brought my glasses.
Oh no, you're doing good. There's also been word of that actual land being cursed before even the Hollywood sign going up. So
Yeah,
my
supposedly now. I haven't done a lot of research on this, to tell you the truth, because, well, you know me. Um, the When they tried to settle that area, um, and they basically stole the land from not only Native Americans, but certain parts of that land was owned by a cattle baron, I believe it was, um, and they stole it from his widow. Um, Basically, screwed her out of, bought it for pennies on the dollar, basically, and kicked her off. Went around the back doors with this city and the county and stuff like that because it was a big draw. They were all going to be famous because it was going to be this great big attraction, supposedly. Um, uh, the biggest question with that, with Peg, is why? Why did this happen? In her mind, what she's feels, however you want to talk about. Uh, in New York on Broadway, she was a quote unquote big star. So in her mind, when she got to Hollywood and wasn't this big star right away, even though she'd had several roles, um, she thought that the role that she got, they found out after she passed, um, she thought she didn't get that one, and she had her heart set that she was going to get that one, and that was going to be her big break. Um, it's not known if she was told before by somebody that she wasn't going to get it, or she just assumed she hadn't got it because it was quite a while um, between her auditioning and her committing suicide over all this. It's also rumored that she got involved with a film producer who was married, um, and the wife thought the wife found out about it. That's true. That actually happened. That's actually what was one of the deciding factors, is that she was, in her mind and her feelings, infatuated, in love, whatever, with this person, and he wasn't going to leave his wife, and the kind of stories that go on. But Uh, the big deciding factors was the affair in her mind. Again, this is in her mind, and that she hadn't made it a big star. And again, she wasn't there. I think it was 8 months is all she was in Hollywood. Um, but in her mind, uh, she was going to make it big right away. It just didn't happen, and she got depressed, and in her words, she uh, took some stuff, whatever that means, and decided that there was no fixing anything, uh, and unfortunately made a bad decision. Uh, so she's tied to that because of the uh, dramatic way things happened. She's tied there because of her memories. She can't get past what she did, uh, even though it probably wasn't all that bad, considering the times and where she was at, and so on. Uh, but I also think that she's tied there uh, by something else to try and remind people about what happened to the original landowners. Um, if you want to call them that. Uh, I don't think there's an actual curse on that land. I think the curse was a story to build uh, attraction. Um, but there was some underhanded dealings in acquiring that land for the town/city of Hollywood.
Yeah, so basically it was a multitude of contributing factors then.
Right. Right.
Which would make sense, and it would also make sense that um, where it would be residual, certain parts of it would be residual, and certain parts of it would be intelligent.
Right.
With the people that are actually like seeing her on the path, that would probably be the intelligent part.
Well,
Where
there's interaction too between
mm-hmm,
and another thing I need to bring up is they don't know if it's all Peg,
mm-hmm,
to tell you
right,
the truth, because they don't actually see uh, from what I've gathered, they don't actually see a full form person.
mm-hmm,
It's a white mist, a girl with blonde hair.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, there's many different descriptions of it, so
mm-hmm,
it doesn't. It's very possible that it is not all Peg,
mm-hmm,
just because of all the things that have been seen. There's been, we all laugh because there's been every haunting has either a blue dress or a white dress in it. Don't
right,
believe me? Don't believe me? Do your research.
or green,
Apparently, when women die and they haunt a place, they're only allowed to wear white, blue, or gray.
or
Period.
green, or green.
I've heard a couple green, yeah, but no, but it's always whitish blue or whitish green. It's never, you know,
You never
uh,
see a lady in a bright red dress
no,
or yeah, you never hear that. They only go with one color or one color scheme or whatever, or one
right.
part of the rainbow.
We need to color coordinate these fuckers.
Right? You never hear like, oh, of a clown with multiple colors.
Well, you can tell if it's a clown by the car.
Yeah, right? Or the honka honka.
There you go. Yeah,
There we
that's what I
go.
was thinking, Mark. I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, 71's deeply, deeply. There's something wrong with her. She likes clowns.
I'm gonna fear midget bikers. So that's what I know about the Hollywood sign within the 3 hours that I was given to research. Because you guys wanted to know.
Remember when we used to play D&D and our dungeon master was that guy that was super tall with the long blonde hair? Remember him?
I can't remember yesterday.
And he drove like a little Honda Civic when it was like a two-car Honda Civic in the
Yeah,
90s.
he was like 6'6".
Yeah, and he stood up and it went to like his hips and we were laughing because it's like he goes, "What's so funny?" And we're like, "Oh, I want to know how you get the smell of clown out of your hair." Oh my god.
I just got to know what you guys want to learn and learn
Uh-huh.
about, and I can investigate quick.
Mhm.
Unlike Ginger, who's got to do book research, I just do things.
Mhm. You do the other side of it. Um Probably next week we're probably going to cover the one I had told you about that disappeared in 49. Um we'll
Okay,
you
again, I
know,
can't remember yesterday, so you'll have to tell me like 10 more times this week.
I will. I'll give you time this time and then we'll do we'll redo the Black Dahlia, both of us, because I did the research on it that one day. I'll do a quick overview of it, and then you can do the other half of it. And that's what we'll cover. But between appointments and everything, right?
Got a lot of them.
Right. Between all the appointments we have for this month, and October's always a busy month for us, especially in the paranormal part of it.
No, I dream about people trying to talk to me.
Oh, right, exactly. If the Yeah, or we wake up with the handprints on us, right?
Scratches.
Yep, scratches and hair. You get more scratches, and I get the fingerprints. Oh,
It's not a contest, Jennifer.
I know, but it's not a contest. No, it's not. But you do. You end up with. Oh, wait. What about that? You got that big old handprint on you that one time on your whole back. It was like, whoa. And it didn't go away for like 2 months. That was bad. It looked like a sunburn.
No, somebody didn't know how to handle what they'd done.
Uh, Mark says if Mr. G can't remember, he can do the same one each week.
Huh, fooled him. That's what I do. I just repeat.
Boom, boom,
I just
boom.
change the names.
There you go. Anybody have any questions they want to throw at us? Don't everybody talk at once because it's just so confusing when you do that. Oh no. 71's thinking we could be in trouble here. Blues is still in the kitchen. At least she got those dishes done. Yeah, I was telling him earlier that everybody wants to do a Halloween show, and I'm like, we're usually pretty jam packed on Halloween, right?
Yep.
I was like, everybody wants to do a Halloween show. Nope. Usually there's a lot of stuff going on at our house on Halloween, so we don't have time to do a Halloween show. Yeah, we'll be packed in the house, period. The house will be packed. All the numerous offspring. Yeah, that's what we worry about. Everybody goes trick or treating, and then yeah, other stuff happens.
Because people are stupid.
Yeah, people do a lot of stupid things on Halloween. That's when we're going to do a spirit box thing and we're going to do a seance on Halloween on the internet. And we're going to, oh, good gravy, you know?
The veil's thin on Halloween, so we're going to go after the big guy
Yeah, right?
and see what happens.
Let's see what, yeah. Or things start shaking. And everybody wants to do a Halloween show that day. And I'm like, you guys are dumb because it's in the middle of the week for one. And don't toy with shit you don't know anything about.
If the timeline's right, I'll still be recovering.
Yeah, you probably will. And you notice in the last few years, there's always a medical procedure or an emergency thing we have to take care of the day before or the day of.
I can change that 71.
Hell no, she says. She likes it all peaceful and quiet there. How about the escape from Alcatraz? Some say one guy made it and wrote letters. Hey, Blissful, how you doing, sweetheart? Let's see. Escape from Alcatraz. Actually, I think they said there was three of them that escaped, right?
Yeah.
And two of them were brothers,
Yep.
and they made it to, I want to say, South America. Was it? It's been a long time. It was either South America or Mexico or someplace like that.
It was
And go on.
the supposed picture that they sent with the letter was fake. They found out that it was fake. The guy did look like one of the brothers, but they did some kind of software recognition, and it was only like 40% chance that it was him.
Oh, kind of did the same thing like with the Jesse James picture,
Yeah.
where that one was like 90%, was it?
Yep.
So I tend to think the Jesse James one might be true. That it was not him that was killed.
Jesse James, they've authenticated
That it
from that
wasn't him.
process. No, that it was him.
Oh,
That's what I'm thinking of. Billy the Kid. Also,
yeah,
that picture where he's at the farm.
yeah.
And they're playing croquet or something. I think it was. That's what I was thinking of, where it was actually authenticated due to the software.
Ah,
And they use the same software for the Alcatraz person. Anglin Brothers. That's what it was.
See, that would be, those are kind of interesting. Some of those where they're like, oh, okay. Who else did they say? Was it John Wilkes Booth or whatever? They
Yeah,
always
there was a lot of them.
that they're like, oh, they didn't really die. Butch and Sundance.
Yeah, they supposedly made it out of Brazil, wherever they were at. John Wilkes Booth supposedly lived another 30 years. Jesse James supposedly died 1970 something or whatever.
Yeah, like really incredibly old age or whatever.
Yeah.
I even did that with Hitler. Remember? Oh, he died in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know. I mean, when you watch Finding Hitler, or what was that? Was that what it was?
Yep. That was it. It was Finding Hitler.
Yeah, that one was that one could be believable with the rat lines and everything. And he did have a lot of people that were body doubles.
If there's no questions, I'm gonna
Hop down.
bow out and take my meds and go to bed.
Okay. Well, thank you for popping in and helping. Yeah. See, he likes to go to bed early. It's all right. It's all right. Would anyone like to come on panel? Yeah, did he get the wax right, Blissful? Oh my gosh. Girl. Of course, that is a good question. Did he get the wax or not? Oh my gosh, my girl. My peeps. My people are funny. Your meds are making you wacky, 71. I think all meds make people a little bit. Oh, you need your shot, don't you? The red? You're so innocent. Has Texas been behaving? Of course. I don't think he's talked much. Texas, have you been behaving? I'm giving out shots. That's right. I'm giving out shots. Free insulin shots. I'm going to just. Over 200. Oh, wow. That's a shocker. I won't stay over 200. Usually a couple will drop here and there. I've been hitting that 200 mark, dropping down to 198. 201, back down to 198. Nobody likes sticking around gingers for very long. You know, we don't offer a bunch of drama here, so I won't get it. I won't stay above 200. Because I don't, he was under the couch. Oh, the last time you found who? Texas was under the couch? Uh, see? Texas had nobody to misbehave with since you weren't around, Blissful, so he's had to sit on his hands and behave. 71. I only know where Mark's hiding. uh, we scare them off, right? We do. With our spooky stories and our sense of humor, you know? Our crazy, or it could be my stories, my wacky stories, you know, that seem to just upset some people. Like, oh my gosh, how dare she talk about magic show? Oh no. Like, miss me with that. Yes, you are a good boy, Mark. You are a good boy. Blissful's been angry cleaning. Oh, wow. I do that too. Blissful. Mr. G will tell you that's his favorite thing to do, get me mad. Then watch me clean. Or bake. Or end up, like, if we have a lot of, like, baking supplies, I'll end up baking a lot. Mark, don't say that or 71 will try to corrupt you. Yes. 71 is the all-knowing, all-seeing corrupter of the internet, just so you all know. She corrupts everyone. Yep. She's a friend-snatching corrupter. She's just downright evil. Aren't you, 71?
With Pampers Cruisers 360,
You're evil and dangerous. Wow.
Did the freezer just become the new snack drawer?
That's right. You stole me. How dare you? Hey, welcome, buddy.
Hey.
Sup?
Oh, little of this, little of that.
Right?
So, yeah, I just thought I'd pop on for a little bit.
Hey, anybody that I'm fouls with here is welcome to pop on my panel. You know that. That's 71's theme song. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm serious. Am I the only one that does that? Like, certain things, just like conversations or whatever, a song will pop in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I have that.
It's like, oh, there's your theme. Like, I'm just going to drop this here.
Well, Blissful and I do that. She'll think of something, and I'll wake up in the morning, and then there's a song. I was like, oh, that's that's interesting. Or and stuff.
Or like, you'll be having a conversation, or you have just mentioned something, and then it pops on the radio,
Right.
or a playlist, and you're like, wait a minute. It was more odd back in the day when it just randomly would pop on the radio, you know. But nowadays, everybody's got their playlists and stuff, and I don't. I do not have a playlist. Can you imagine that?
Right.
But my kids will have a playlist, and they'll like they'll just pop it on. I'm like, oh, look, this song, boom. I'm like, really? You pulled that out of your butt? Like, wow. Oh, it's on my playlist. Like, really? You're thinking about cutting your hair short, huh, Blissful? Mhm. Mark says she has to be nicer to make it to evil. I just got my hair cut. Oh, I say that, but I cut it last October. I had it was clear down to like below my butt, and I got sick of throwing it over my shoulder or up in a bun to go to the bathroom. So I had it cut all the way up past my or above my shoulder blades, and now it's already down to my butt again. So I give up. you know, Blissful, I get it. Every girl's got to do something with their hair or something when they're in a funk. Whether it's diet or, like to dye your hair or cut it or both, you know. I think, and then you mess with the makeup to match the hair. If only that were true. Wow. Let's see. In the middle of your back, but it's curly. See, mine does that too. It does that like when it's wet, it's super curly. And then if you brush your hair for like after it dries, it turns into like I don't know what is it uh Harmony Granger. Like all over the place. So how you doing today, Texas?
I'm okay. See, I like the fact that her hair is that long and curly.
Right? I do too. I mean, the thing is, with long hair, you can always, like you can always put it up on top of your head. You can put it in a bun. You can put it in a ponytail. You can put it in two ponytails, braids, you name it. Yours is in your middle of your back, 271, but you won't cut it. See, I get mine cut every once in a while because mine's so heavy. I can't cut my hair unless I'm drinking, and since I don't drink anymore, it's just going to grow until it's to the floor. You're gonna look like what is it, Cousin It? Isn't it Cousin It that had all the hair? It's not getting cut. Oh, if I get desperate enough, I'll just hand the clip hair like scissors over to Nugget and let her go crazy. Yeah, hey, Cousin It, Blissful. It's better than being what was it, Thing? The little hand in the box. Oh, so look at us. We're already on all these other topics. Hey, it doesn't matter because we just do what we want to here. So it's a madhouse out there, isn't it? It's like, boom, I'm hiding. I've been hiding for the last 2 or 3 days. I loved Cousin It too. I think Cousin It would have looked pretty damn cool with like blue streaks, you know?
Yeah, that would be cool if we could have seen it if the Adams Family had been in color or something,
Yeah,
or
if
in the
it
or in the movie if they had done that.
right, if they had like done it with some like dark and like black and then some blue streaks. I don't know why I think the blue streaks are so cool with that. Cousin It was underrated, great commercial skills. Oh, there we go, butterfly barrettes. You remember those little clips, the little butterfly clips they did in the 90s? Girls would wear these little butterfly clips in their hair, like section their hair and put these clips in. I did that with my oldest daughter. She was, oh gosh, she was born in, oh, look at me going, oh, what year was she born in? 93. So when she was like 7, 8 years old, I would do that to her hair, which meant tiny little cornrows, you know what I mean? And then you put
Mhm.
the clip in right there. So it would take me an hour and a half to do her hair in the morning like that. And she'd have the cutest little hairdo. She'd go to school and then she'd get pissed off while she was at school and pull it out, you know? And I'm like, I spent all that time on your hair. Ooh, an attic. I'm gonna clean out the attic. Oh no. Holy cow. So yeah.
Mhm.
71's been out there fighting with people, man.
I went to this certain channel that she goes to because I wanted to see what the hell
What
was
was
going
up?
on, and so apparently the woman like had it. So you had to wait 24 hours to
To,
to to actually get in. Not that I was going to say anything anyway, but I was
yeah.
watching 71 this morning and I was just like, okay, when's she going to like tell somebody to go fuck themselves, and stuff. And
Yeah, you
I
gotta
was just
sit
like,
back. You gotta sit back and watch 71 go.
but I didn't see anything. I was a little disappointed. I was like, what the hell, man? I want to see her go crazy and stuff.
Oh, you don't want to see 71 go off. Oh, no, no, no. You don't want to see 71 go off. That's right, 71. There's nice ways to tell people off. My sister used to say that. Um, she used to say, okay, she was so sarcastic. Have you ever known,
Hmm.
like somebody that just, she had a sarcastic, like snarky disposition all the time, my sister did. And um, people would be like, I can't believe your sisters, and you're so laid back and you're so outgoing and friendly. And they're like, your sister's just mean. And I'm like, oh no, that's just how she processes things. Um, and she goes, the difference between me and Ginger is I will tell people straight off to go F themselves and go to hell. She goes, Ginger does it in a way that makes people enjoy the experience of going to hell. they they look forward to the trip. Oh. Oh, I love the smell of fresh cut grass, but it makes my nose drip, so almost got that out without laughing. Oh, you could never be sarcastic, blissful. Hey, I admit it. I can be snarky once in a while, and I can be an a-hole. I've said that everywhere. You know, just laying the foundation so everybody knows. Don't expect Ginger to always be nice. 71. I don't go half cocked on people anymore. Getting straight for the intellectual kill works wonders. There you go. Exactly, 71. Always out with them. And it's not that hard sometimes on here. It's not. I love that. I come from a long history of asses. I come from a long history of brawlers. If you can believe that, as laid back as I am.
I would have actually liked to have come from a long family of brawlers. The only time that there was ever a brawl in my family, it wasn't exactly a brawl, but my uncle. This was great. It freaked the hell out of everybody. He hadn't seen me in quite a while, and he said, "So," he goes, "Look at you," and I'm like, "Look at me, what?" you know. And then he goes, he kind of just, starts nudging my shoulder, and he's like, "Let's see what you got." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah." And my great grandparents, my grandmothers were there, my grandfather, and his wife, his kids, and I'm like, all right, So then, I'm, ready to go, and he throws a punch, hits me in the shoulder, and then I'm like, boom, and I like, because I'm like, I didn't want to like just go nuts, but I thought, okay, well, because he's gonna try something, but so we're kind of trading, jabs back and forth, but then he throws a haymaker like right at me, but I just like instinctively like backed up, and he missed me, and then everybody's like, "That's it, stop right now," you know. So but I was like, all right,
Oh, no. I came from there's 8 of us, right? And most of the older kids fought. And, here I have 5 kids, and they consider it a knockdown drag out if they shove each other, like one little shove, you know? And I'm like, whew, these kids are like apologizing to each other if they shove each other once, you know? My siblings would be rolling on the floor, knocking furniture over. I kid you not. It was like, oh, I would have to jump up on the back of a couch and just watch everybody go at it.
right.
I mean, things got broken. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you guys think you're fighting. You go ahead and think you're fighting, kids. But yeah, they did ornery things. My brothers were, you know, getting in fights out in the streets. In fact, 2 of them ended up having to go to the Marine Corps because of that. My 2 older brothers ended up having to go into the Marine Corps because they were getting in fights, getting brought home. by the police, drunk, underage. Um, they were stealing cars, and
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like their favorite thing to do was we lived a block down and across the street from a bar, right? When and this is, figure the 70s, you know, early 70s, late 60s. People sometimes left their keys in the car, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My great grandparents did that all the time.
And we didn't live in that big of a town, so these people would just, you know, they frequent their favorite watering hole and leave their keys in the car or in a above the visor or under the seat, just obvious places. And my brothers would be sitting down the block with a couple of their buddies, and they were watching, and they were teenagers at the time, and they'd be laughing. And they'd go up there as soon as those people went in the bar and started drinking.
Mm-hmm.
They'd go move their cars down the street or take them for a joyride and then park them down the street while the people were in the bar drinking. They'd come out freaking out because they didn't know where their car was. And it was, oh yeah. And then they taught the youngest brother, and he's actually older than me. They taught him how to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's 5 years old. So he was 5 years old, and his pal was 7. His friend
Mm-hmm.
Hank was 7. So Hank would be working the pedals down on the floor while my brother was steering. And they ended up doing that and getting in the neighbor's truck, right? And
Mm-hmm.
running it into, like, drove it into somebody's kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah, my parents had to pay for that. But, like, just stuff like that. They would all get in trouble doing stuff like that, and they thought it was funny. Um, well, I think my brother had my oldest brother was quite the hellion, and he had a fake ID, right? And he would tell this story of how he went into this bar, and he was already 3 sheets to the wind when he went in. And he went into the bar and he told his buddies that, you can leave me, I'll be okay. And he was sitting there drinking, and he goes, I was eyeballing this hot babe at the end of the bar, right? And he's talking about how hot this chick was with his beer goggles on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, man, I tell you about beer goggles. I was like, this woman is fly. She is hot as hell, right? And he goes, I go down there. He goes, the woman sends me a drink. I keep eyeballing her and winking at her, and, you know. And he goes, finally, I slide down there and start telling her, hey, he goes, let's go back to your place. And he says, she looks at him and says, like, yeah, my place is your place because you're my son.
Oh.
He was hitting on our mom.
Holy
He
shit.
was that wasted. And he was 16 years old. So that would have made my mom like 36, 35, 36 years old. And she was like, dude, I'm your mother. Kind of have to. And then she gave him a lecture all the way home. He said, I don't even remember the lecture. He goes, but that was pretty messed up. And she said, maybe you should tone down your drinking if you're
Mm.
so wasted you're trying to pick up your mother. Oh my God. But that's how his stories would always start. I mean, and it lead into this just crazy ending, But he ended up going into the service, and yeah, him and the older two brothers ended up in the service. So it was always they were always doing stuff like they thought it'd be funny to light matches or put matches between your toes and light them. Um to see how long it took you to wake up. I'm like,
Christ.
wow. Oh my God.
It's-
Oh yeah. So I mean, I'm glad a lot of this stuff was done before I came around.
Hmm.
I'm like, dude. But those same two brothers are the same two brothers that I needed to learn how to defend myself. So, so I'm not too afraid. But they're like, they didn't do that with a lot of the sisters because they were
Hmm.
close in age. Well, we're not going to teach them how to defend themselves. They'll whip our asses. Let's teach the youngest. But yeah, blissful. I think that's why my dad joined the military. Well, back then it was back in the 70s and 60s and stuff like that. That was a way that you got out of serving time sometimes. It was like you ended up in military school or not military school, uh boys homes, and or you'd end up in it depended on how close you were. But they both ended up going into the service, and one was dumber than a box of rocks. I don't even know how he made it through boot camp. I don't even think the guy could tie his shoelaces. Well, I'll give you an example. So one was stationed at Cherry Point in on the East Coast, right? The oldest brother, and then Floyd was in not Paris Island, uh, in California. Um, you know what I'm thinking? Because Paris Island is the one with females and males. Anyway,
Right. Uh,
he was out of San Francisco or whatever. You know the area.
oh yeah.
Okay, he was out there, and my older brother or the oldest brother goes, "Oh man, when you get a weekend leave, you got to go to the beach, get drunk, and watch the sunrise over the ocean and the beach. It's just there's nothing like it." And the younger brother goes, "Oh yeah, I got to try that, right?" So he does it. He goes out on the beach, he's wasted off his ass, and he's sitting there waiting for the sun to rise over the ocean. What's the problem there? I waited for over 24 hours for the sunrise to come over the ocean, and it never did.
Speaking though of like drunks, my ex best friend that I had to dump and get rid of after 42 years.
Wow. Yeah.
He's yeah, he was like a cancer. It was like getting rid of cancer. Bliss knows like a lot of stories, but um, yeah, he's affectionately known as Bummer Bitch now, pretty much, because that's how I refer to him. But there was one time when I was still in California and I was vacationing here, and she heard this one and she couldn't fucking believe it. So we went to go eat at this place that had, you know, chicken fried steak and all this. So we had this real nice lunch. It was me, him, and this girl he was going out with at the time. And so it really didn't involve drinking. There was a lot of drinking stories, but this one was just, oh my God. So it's at least over 100 degrees outside. And as we're leaving, he goes to light up a cigarette and he starts choking, and he turns around and he pukes on the trunk of this car. And of course, since it was so hot, his vomit is is getting fried on the trunk like an egg. And I'm like, we need to get the fuck out of here, like right now. And we ran to the car and like sped off. It was so fucked up. But I mean, he would do some of the dumbest shit. We went to the drive-in one time, and this was before you know, he got sober, but he was still he was more of an asshole, I think, when he was sober. But we went. It was a double bill. It was like Purple Rain and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I kid you not.
Oh, what a combination, right?
Right. Yeah. So he buys like basically 2 6-packs, and he's already, before the movie is even started, he's already down the first one, And so, I'm just rolling my eyes, and we're watching Purple Rain, and then he's so smashed. He's like, "Look at that effing, this fucking, this, that." And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, and I mean, I was just like, oh boy. And right then and there, I should have known better and like never talked to him again there. But so that was one night I didn't think we were ever gonna like make it home, because he was so fucking drunk, and it was just like, we had several things, like that. Where we were driving down the street, and some guy was pulling into this stop and go and honked at his friend, and he all of a sudden goes, "That motherfucker," and he pulls in, and the guy gets out of his car. He's like, "What the hell?" And my friend goes, "Why the fuck are you honking at me?" And I'm like, "Dude, he's not honking, it's like, get back in the car, and the guy's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry," he goes, "No, I wasn't honking at you," and stuff. And I'm like, "Get in the car, you fucking moron," and stuff. And then later on, a friend of mine called me, and he's like, "Do you actually make it home last night alive?" I go, "Well, apparently, yeah. You're talking to me, aren't you?" Just really stupid, dumb shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my brother used to do shit like that. I mean, it's like the only thing that I found that changed, I mean, it changed him as far as um addressing people like our grandparents, and he was more respectful, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes ma'am, um but he did some crazy stuff, because was when he was stationed at Cherry Point, his wife was messing with someone.
Uh-oh.
And she was at a military bar, and it was here. You know how it works with you probably do if you're anywhere near bases, right? People understand that there's always something between the Navy, the Marines. You know what I mean? There's like
Mm-hmm.
a not a. It's almost like a healthy kind of rivalry, almost like. Anyway, it was a naval bait, or like a naval one, like bar, and he was a Marine, which, even though they kind of came from the same branch at one point, there's still a little bit of a rivalry there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he walks in there, and this guy's hanging all over his wife, all over my sister-in-law, and my brother walks up and says, "You mind getting your hands off my wife?" And he's like, "F you, buddy," because he's got the naval tat, or the guy's got the naval tats. My brother's had his Marine Corps simplify, and he's like, "No." So they get in this dispute. They end up outside. They end up leaving because they got kicked out, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, he's taking on 4 dudes, 4 Navy,
Jesus.
because he was calling them peer queers. Yeah, yeah, like, we're fucking peer queer, Um, and they're like, "Jarhead," and he's like, "Yep, damn Skippy, I'm a jarhead. I'll fuck you up," And he gets into it with them. They break beer bottles, and
Oh
he's
boy.
fighting all 4 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up like, and he ended up getting a scar on his left arm that cut all the way around, like his whole arm, except for like I want to say about a centimeter. His arm was hanging out like meat, you know. By the time the ambulance got there, he had coded. So they actually had to bring him back. So he ended up getting a court martial for that. He was a corporal at that point, and he ended up getting busted down in rank. He got 2 court martials in the time he was in the service, but he still got an honorable discharge. Figure that one out. He got a court martial when he was over in Liverpool because he got in a big old freaking fight there with a bunch of locals. Like, hello, don't go out drinking and getting in bar fights, dumbass. But my brother had, let's just say he was one of the, like, he thought he was 10 foot tall and bulletproof, you know. Had to prove himself everywhere he went, you know. But yeah, I was like, what a dumbass. And he would say that when he was older. He calmed down by the time he was like 30, 32, you know. It's like, I was a dumb, hot-headed kid. What he called it is being young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yep.
And he goes, by the time he hit 30, 32, he was like over all that, you know. And he'd be joking around about sitting around in a, he goes, all he liked to do when he wasn't working was sitting around in beanbag chairs, eating Cheetos and jerking off. I was like, really? That was, yeah. And he'd tell people that too. Oh, wow. It's, I tell you. And the younger one, the one that was dumb enough to wait for the sun to rise, he ended up just, real messed up. He stayed out there in California, got married, bounced back and forth between here, you know, the Midwest and California, and ended up getting into stuff. And he went AWOL, you name it. And then it was up to our oldest brother to take care of him. Like, oh my God. I think he's still lost, and he's in his 60s now.
Oh, boy.
But when our oldest brother passed away, it was like he didn't have anybody to take care of him anymore, you know? To tell him to stick matches between people's toes and stuff. He was just, I don't know. He was lost. Now listening to him, he's like, huh? What? How you doing? Yeah. You don't miss LA, and at Malibu was really nice, but I don't miss that either. Oh no, never been there. But our dad, he was like that. My dad was like that. That's why he didn't drink that often. But he was a big dude. He was like 6'6". My brother was only 5'10", so he was actually an inch, or no, 6 foot. No, that one was 5'10". He was an inch shorter than me, and that's what he thought was funny. But our dad was like a really big dude, like 6'6", and our grandfather was like 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", and that they were big dudes. My dad was the type of guy that the police show up and they bring 10 cop cars just to subdue him, and they couldn't use handcuffs because he broke them. So they would, he'd have to put his hands in front of them and let them rope tie him. So he spent time, like, he wasn't in jail all the time, but the drunk tank. But it was funny when I ran into Mr. G and we started talking, and his uncle would tell me stories. His uncle Larry was a sheriff and officer, and he knew my dad since they were kids or teenagers. And he would tell stories about, oh yeah, it was funny. He goes, if we got a call on him, we'd be like, oh, let's get a. He had the goofiest name, my dad did, Elmer. I mean, right there, you're going to get picked on. um, and you'd be like, okay, it's like, oh, Elmer, oh, okay, it's that address. Okay. And you'd go pulling up there, and there'd be like 8, 9 other like cars, and at that time they had 2 people per car. And he goes, there'd be like 10 police officers just flying. They go to try to wrestle him to the ground, and they go flying 3, 4, 5 feet in the air. And he goes, I just lean back against my squad car and wait for him to get wore out. And he goes, hey, you might want to calm down there, Elmer. Then he goes, just stop hitting him. You're just ticking him off. You're just making him mad. Don't hit him. He'll come in nice. He'll come in. And then he told stories about that. And then they would talk about my grandfather, he worked for the railroad, right, in the 20s and 30s. And he was also bootlegging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He ran bootleg. And I learned about that they were bootlegging during the Prohibition, right, in the area through the railroad. And they would have the railroad cars would have false walls in them, where they were putting the alcohol in the false walls.
Mm-hmm.
And that was he did overnights, and he was making sure that the shipments got there. And then they would take them to my grandparents, his house, and they had like a gin basement. You know what I mean? Where they have
Oh
like
yeah.
fake doors and stuff,
Right.
like they did in speakeasies and stuff. Well, they would ship it there, and he'd hide it there and stuff like that. So he ran a lot of that. Well, he also did muscle, like collections. And they said you'd see business owners being tossed out of windows down Main Street. And they'd go, it was my grandfather standing there just tossing these dudes out the window when they didn't pay up. And they're like, yeah, that was going on in the 30s and 40s. He was just tossing dudes out the window, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they go all the way from like 1920 to like 1940 something. He was doing this shit. I'm like, damn. So they had a reputation. I'm like, oh yeah. So with my maiden name, it was like, that was not a maiden name. Like they're like, okay, we'll leave you alone. Like, what? What did I do? Oh wow. Oh my goodness. They're talking about bats and rats and crazy stuff. No rats though.
Yeah, she Ginger watched Monster Dog and then this movie about rats the other day.
Oh, 71 did?
Yeah, I forgot I wanted to recommend a movie to her called Black Gestapo. She needs to check that out.
Yeah.
I don't know who has it, but somebody will.
Oh yeah, I imagine you can find it somewhere. There's always, you'll watch it tonight. If it can be found, she will find it.
Yeah.
She will dig till she finds it. That's one thing. She's very resourceful when it comes to movies. That's what I love about her. Oh, you watching Umbrella Academy, Blissful? I watched the first, I want to say 2 seasons, and it's been so long that I need to go all the way back to the beginning and watch it again. You know, um, you have connections. 71's got the connections. Klaus is your spirit animal, Blissful, huh? Look at her. I gotta check that out so I know what I gotta check out who Klaus is so I know who I'm hanging out with, Blissful. I love saying that. Sometimes I come out here and you're like, I see people like Jill, and I'm like, Jill's my spirit animal today. You know, like I pick one for the day. Free stuff at you. But you're fun. What's up, Sage?
All cheeked up on a.
Oh, you got
Thursday
those
night.
pretty earrings in. Are those the ones your dad got you?
Yeah, the one that I never wore because I have nothing to match with them.
They're pretty. I like them.
They're green.
I know they're green, but
They're my favorite color.
they're really pretty. They look like real emeralds, too. Oh, they are real. Well, probably. Knowing your dad.
Plastic. They're actually plastic with the cheap kind of metal.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts. He thought they were pretty and he got them for you.
I asked for them.
Your dad spoils you. I think that's what girls are for. Blissful says hi, Sage. You didn't say hi to Blissful?
I can read. Thank you very much.
You can read.
Yeah.
Is it your reading and your written skills?
Yeah, I'm the one getting a book published, not you.
You will. I know you will. She turns 15 on
In 5 days. October 4th.
on Monday.
Yay.
Tuesday, that's right. I'm sorry. I was thinking, but the 4th is Tuesday. Yes. Big girl.
No, I'm born on Monday. I'm born on the 3rd now.
Nope. I was supposed to have you on the 3rd, but
You're
they messed up.
you're
They messed up the stuff.
Okay, originally you were supposed to have me on the 24th.
Yes, the
Then
24th.
it changed because I was growing into a big, chunky baby. And they're like, well, your kid's grown so fast, she might be out by next week. So October 14th, which is your birthday.
I know.
And then you got induced on like the 1st. The 3rd. And they're like, well, we're going to jack you up and put a whole bunch of holes in your body. Like,
Oh, gosh. They filled me full of fluid and they didn't even put the pit drip in. So it's like I just had to pee a lot. I wasn't even in labor. I just had to go to the bathroom a lot. Yeah. Yes, she gets to get her permit and go through the whole driver's ed thing this year.
Yeah. I already got myself a car.
She's already got a car and everything lined up. So, Miss Fancy Britches. I don't even know what year that is.
I know it seems more recent than.
I think it's a 2004, maybe.
It's a really good car. Really.
2005.
Decent. That's a really decent first car.
Really nice.
So it's just. Sissy explained that it was really fidgety.
Oh, it was a 2006, I think.
Yeah, it's really fidgety and very sensitive to certain things.
She's got herself a little Honda Civic.
Happy birthday, Sage. Early.
And how am I ahead of you, 71?
Oh, Texas said happy birthday. You couldn't hear it because it was in the headphones.
No, thank you, Texas.
I'll tell you what, I'll take the head.
What the heck? Happy birthday, Sage.
Should be able to hear you.
There we go. Now
Yeah.
everybody can hear you too.
Is there audio going up? I don't know.
Oh no. Say something, Texas. We'll see if it comes through.
Hello, can you hear me?
Nope.
Well, that's weird.
Give me a sec. I'm working on it. Tech Savvy Sage is to the rescue. Wait, okay.
Happy birthday, Sage. Hell.
Why is this so slow?
Because, I don't know. Because it is.
There we go. Thank you. Thank God.
Now say something.
Hello.
No, okay. Give me a sec. So there has to be something blocking it.
Well, go down to the
Settings.
settings. Yes.
Audio. speaker. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We're good.
Yep. Now you should.
Happy
There
birthday.
you go. We hear you.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Sage, settle down. He's taken and way too old for you.
Yeah, I'm way too old, and I have the best woman in the world. So nope.
Good.
Got the
I'm
gorgeous
just joking.
blissful right there. Is this lady? She's
Blissful.
very pretty.
See, that's proof I was suspecting them too, because Texas and then with Texas. Good.
Yep.
Blissful is gorgeous
Yes, she is.
and a sweetheart.
This chat turned from like y'all, you're like the
Aw.
like the dark stuff to everyone wishing me happy birthday. That's how much everyone loves me.
You have a personality. You're a very personable person. There you
She
go.
has the cult of personality.
She is kind of like really, I don't know. She's my superstar. She's a Libra, so
I'm one of those kids who can do a lot of things. Like most kids are like usually they stay in artistic where they are artistic or they like music. They usually stay in their lanes. I go every which way. I branch out. I love everything. If you want to talk about something, I'm most likely going to love that subject because I like everything.
Yep. And she's all excited because she got her wheels. Look at you. You're so excited. She's got a nicer car than me. She's got a nicer car than me. Her car's like not even got a spot of rust on it. It's freaking. I'll put a picture of it up one day. But it's got a sunroof in it, and she's all excited. I'm like, we got a sunroof in ours, but
like mine's like more like cooler, you know.
Like you got a little.
But yours actually has a back seat. Like we have to
you have a back
the seats forward in order to get people in the back seat.
Yeah, well, that will just deter you from driving people around.
Yeah, I know. It won't stop you from giving up, but
yeah, it'll deter you from being the taxi driver.
It's my rules. I'm not going to be a taxi.
Yeah,
I just put myself.
Except for to drive your little sister to school or whatever.
Probably.
And you just don't have a choice. You have a bottle of well. I have a car. I need a battery. Yep. Luckily, we live in a state where you can do your stuff online for your permit.
Yeah.
You'll just have to go in to have your picture taken. They might even do that from home too, with all the cameras and stuff.
I think it's like send them a picture. I don't know. I think it's like.
I think you have to go in the first time because that's what I did with your brother. Because you have to have your your parent. That would be me.
That would be you. Last I checked.
And then I have to go in with your social security card and your birth certificate, and go in there.
How do I know you're my real mother? I mean,
I'm on the birth certificate.
You're like, okay, explain this to me. You're white, like you're pale white, like paper white. You got green eyes and red hair, and I have blue eyes, dark brown hair, and I look like a little Latino baby.
So, you look
I look like my dad, but like not that much like my dad.
Yeah. Well, you got that suntan year round, so don't complain about it. Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
It's Friday for real? Yes, it is.
Yep.
You do look you're tall like me and long-legged like me. And you're not hairy like your dad.
Because he's Sasquatch. But I got big feet, so.
You got big feet?
I don't know where I get that.
Your
dad
aunt's
got tiny feet.
I know, we both got tiny feet, but your aunts got huge feet. They all got like size...
We're just talking about random birth.
My sisters all have like size 10 and 11 feet. And here I am with I'm taller than that. I was taller than them, right? And then
you got these little tiny hobbit feet.
I have like a size 8.5 foot.
Yeah.
8 foot. and make fun of me with my dainty little toes. You and your tiny little feet. No shirt for the wedding? What? Who's going without a shirt?
Me.
Are they going to make you go without a shirt, Texas? I mean,
Oh shit! I don't know.
they're planning your stuff, dude.
You're planning a lot of stuff.
They're going to make you look like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Or the pirate that I was in the past life that was murdered.
All right, like you'll have one of those like white shirts with the like lace or like the string through it.
Yeah, those like really old timey shirts.
But
Old-timey.
you know, I told you that I had several others that I didn't tell you, and so okay, there was one where apparently I was a lady and I was like really rich, and that I kind of looked down on people. I didn't like that one so much, and I was like, man, why couldn't it be her that was fucking murdered?
Right? No, right? Those are really freaky. What really freaked me out is when you do like those past life regressions, or
Right.
I had one where I was basically giving birth and died, and it was like, oh yeah, that's lovely, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you get all the sensations and all that. And when I had this, I was expecting my first kid. I was like, oh. So I was like, oh God, no. Hope that's not a repeat. And it was like, it was like Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
1200, 1400, somewhere in there. And it's like, well, you're giving birth in like a freaking sheepskin tent, like, oh, you're pulling out your drawings there?
Yeah.
Your drawings?
My drawings.
Your drawings. Quite the artiste. You're really good at that.
That's my favorite one.
You're good at drawing.
I'm very good at drawing.
You're also good at music too.
I can't sing, but I'm good at playing an instrument.
You can sing.
My clarinet's my voice.
There you go.
I can't play that well.
Not
anymore. I haven't played in over a year.
You played. You just haven't played since like May.
Since June, actually.
Oh, June? Oh, that's right. You were out playing over the summer. You're still good at it.
School ended in June. June 3rd is when school ended.
Yeah, but you were playing it right before school started at the beginning of this year.
I played it once.
Okay.
And I was doing scales because I was bored.
And you were happy. Yeah, but,
I don't know what to draw. But I want to draw.
You were doing a good job, though. My ears weren't bleeding. I'll have a past life regression and find I passed off having a past life regression. That's a good one, Bliss. Oh my God. Yeah, right? I would have it. I never had past life regression because I end up being a serial killer. Right? Like those scary stories of like people that, I don't know if you guys ever heard that family, I think it was in Kansas, that ran a like an inn, like a stagecoach inn.
Yeah, it was in Iowa, not Kansas.
Was it Iowa?
It was Iowa, and this family run this whole inn, like diner / like bed and breakfast sort of thing, of where they would kill people, or not? Was it?
Yeah,
they would sell
and sell their stuff.
Sell their stuff as in like belongings and as in themselves to customers.
And then remember they talked about, and sometimes body parts would be in stew. Yeah.
And they weren't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was wondering if they were cooking up the guests.
Mm-hmm. They were, yep.
Because some guests were suddenly, quote unquote, disappear. And then after years, they found out it was them.
And they moved on. They had moved by the time they found out that the family did it. And they found the bones and stuff there. And it was like, and the family was like, the kids of the family were like adults too. It was like a mom, a dad, a daughter, and a son. There might have been 2 daughters. I can't remember, but there was, it was been a while since I went over that, and it was creepy. I was like, right here in the Midwest, ooh, the stew. Stew was in the stew. That's right. They had a trapdoor in the floor. Yeah, I think so.
You know, I have a confession to make, though. I'm a serial killer. I could usually polish off about 2 or 3 boxes in a day.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's really good cereal.
Yep.
I didn't get that joke until you said the cereal part, and I was like, wait, what? I don't understand jokes very easily. That's
you caught on.
Well, that's okay. You got it.
You didn't have to be like. Yeah, that's, you caught it. You didn't do like what I would do at your age. Of like,
the thing is,
that's good.
Oh, I saw
2 hours later. I get it.
I saw this great meme the other day, which was a joke, and it said, before the crowbar, the crows drank at home.
That's a dad joke. That's a dad joke.
That's a dad joke?
Yeah.
Well, okay, your dad used to tell this all the time. He was like, he would tell this joke. He would say, what was it? Oh yeah. He'd say 3 men walked into a bar. The fourth one ducked.
It was 2 men walked into a bar.
The third one ducked. Well, you know your dad's jokes, huh? Don't you?
There's also one he told me. Little Billy was running in the forest really fast. You know what happened to him? Thunk right into a tree.
Yeah. Hit you in the forehead. Yeah.
Yep.
He thought he was funny. You know what he used to do to me all the time?
What?
He used to point up, like if we were in a car or something, and go, dead bird. To see if I would look up.
And let me guess, you would.
The first time I fell for it.
You fell for it, and then the 36th time you fell for it.
And then he's like, how many times do you have to fall for that before you stop looking up? And I go, well, it could have been like falling from the sky because it died up there.
You know, a duck walked into a bar and he said, what the quack? Oh, shit.
Wow. Oh, your dad was you know what? Blissful, my mom was a bartender, so I get it. She told some.
I shall be right back.
I tell you what, she would tell some stories, my mom. But yeah. Blissful, I've witnessed him kill a bowl of cereal. It's true. Oh, you got to get married then. You can't have her testifying against you in a court of law.
We can't have him running loose.
Some of the crazy stuff, though, I'm telling you.
It's not looking right.
You doing
Do my daily drawings.
your drawings?
My drawings.
Yeah, right. Well, you see, you don't have to like get married. You can have a civil ceremony.
I don't believe in marriage. 50% of marriages end in divorce anyway, so like, what's the point of getting married?
You know what happens to the other 50%? They end in death. 50% of marriages end in divorce. The other 50% end in death. Either way, it is
You're fucked.
bad odds. Bad odds.
Just don't get married. Well, either way, you're gonna die, but still.
Along inappropriate songs. My brother used to sing that, like sing inappropriate songs. The same one I was telling you that was so did some crazy stuff, man. But you know what? My kids all loved him. Remember your Uncle Lenny?
The gummy bear? No, that's Donnie.
Yeah, that's Donnie, the gummy bear one.
He's been lacking. He's been slacking. I need my gummy bears and I need my sour gummy worms.
And he bring you the peach rings and the apple rings.
Yeah, he's the one who makes the peach rings. I love peach rings. Peach rings are my life.
Yeah, he would
Please send me peach rings.
I'll tell him to get you some peach rings.
So, okay, I'm back.
Oh, hi. Welcome. I missed you. You're my new best.
I missed you too, because I think it was you that I told the thing about, I never trust, like I don't trust or anyone that can bite my ankles, especially midgets. I think that was you.
That was Nugget.
That was Nugget. But still, Nugget can bite ankles. But I'm too tall for that, so you're good.
Okay. Well, no, but
safe with Sage. Nugget's the scary one, man. She's the one you have to worry about. That one.
She's got some lip on her.
Lip.
More than lip.
I can remember her talking some smack, and you go to the bus stop, and you're like, "Mom, you gotta talk to Nugget. She keeps getting me in fist fights."
She'll talk all this smack,
and then she
bark this. She would bark with no bite, and then I had to be her bite, and I was like, I'm sick of it. I was in third grade doing this,
and it was always girls older than you.
Yep.
Oh God, I had to fight 2 5th graders, and one of them was really fat. Mom, my God, okay, chill out.
I want Raisin Bran.
You want Raisin Bran? You better put that on the shopping list tomorrow. Are you going to eat the Raisin Bran, or are you going to do what your sister did?
I always eat Raisin Bran. Like, Raisin Bran is like my favorite. It's my favorite. I'm an old man in the inside. I swear. I love Raisin Bran. Like, I'll eat it with the raisins in. Don't matter to me. I like the raisins personally, because they're like.
And the bran just keeps you up.
It makes me feel good, okay, Mom?
Okay.
No one else eats Raisin Bran. You're making me feel bad.
No, it's good for you. It's good for you. But your sister would be like, I want Raisin Bran.
Well, the raisins.
Your oldest sister. And then she'd be like picking out the raisins.
It's like a little turds in it.
You'd pick out all the raisins, right? And then she was like, I don't want to eat I hate raisins. Then why do you keep wanting Raisin Bran? Because she'd be like, I said, then why don't I just get you bran cereal, right?
It doesn't have the nice sugar on it.
Exactly. She goes, it has to have the sugar from the raisins on it.
Wait, Blissful likes oatmeal?
Oatmeal's good.
I don't like oatmeal at all. Oatmeal makes me sick.
You used to like oatmeal with cinnamon on it.
I like oatmeal with cinnamon. It's just more if I can't eat it and digest it without getting.
It was like pasty.
Yeah, I cannot eat pasty stuff. It's like makes me want to throw up.
Well, then you won't be going. Can I have another bowl of porridge? Can I have another bowl of porridge, sir?
Please, bowl of porridge. I don't know what accent.
Like Oliver Twist. Oh, can I please have
71,
another
that's
bowl?
where me and you kind of different. I don't go for dinner foods. I go for whatever junk food is in the house, and I gobble it all up. And then my parents.
What about that new sriracha sauce your dad found?
I've been drinking that.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
And then anything with cheese. My stomach cannot process cheese correctly.
She's not a big dairy fan.
Ginger, you did save me some money tonight, because I was actually going to order out, and then I got the notification for your show, and I looked and I said, 30 minutes. fuck. So I ran into the kitchen, made a quick sandwich, gobbled it down. It's like, okay, I got to be here on time, you know.
I am so sorry.
No, it's fine. It was fine.
I'm trying to get on a schedule, like, so we have a live every Friday night around 6:30 ish, so that it's like it's a scheduled thing, so we can get on the same page or whatever. What's up, Nugget? Say hi to Texas and everybody.
My first impression of Texas is now alcoholism.
What?
No, he's not. Just because of the
beer.
The beer. No, that's Mark that likes the little beer things.
Yeah, my impression of Mark is also alcoholism.
Oh, what? Wow, Mark, you're an alcoholic now. Just so you know. No,
I'm not saying it's an
Texas
alcoholic. I'm saying the impression that it gives me is alcoholism.
No, Texas.
I don't drink.
He doesn't. Texas doesn't drink, but Texas. I thought it was because of the Leatherface thing you saw.
No.
He likes horror movies.
Oh, I do too. I love horror movies.
I like one horror movie.
Blissful says hi, Nugget.
Hi, Bliss.
I should clarify, I like psychological horror movies. That's my favorite. I do not like slashers because I cannot deal with gore.
Yeah, you're not a gore. Yeah.
But I do like Halloween.
Oh, okay.
The Halloween movies or
the Halloween movies, like the Michael Myers.
Okay.
I
You like the music.
I am more preferable towards Scream.
Yeah.
Scream is too terrifying for me.
It's not terrifying.
Dude, I can't.
The kills. I also am an enjoyer of Tremors.
Tremors? You like Tremors?
Yeah.
There's one horror movie that I really like.
Critical need to know information.
It's I remember watching when I was young, and it was with those kind of horror movies where it was like it's about a house where these like people move in, and it sounds like Coraline, but it's not Coraline, and it's like there's like this demon. I want to say
Insidious.
Yeah, it was
maybe,
But
but it's like it slowly takes over the family. Sort of thing.
Yeah, it's Insidious.
Actually, those are really good for like PG horror because they're directed by James Wan, who started the Saw series. So
I also like Saw.
That's a good
I
one.
love Saw. I love Saw.
They're Texas approved, so I
They
approve
love
of
Saw.
those.
I tell you what, like I think it was your brother got you guys really. I mean, he had.
You never allowed us to watch the movies when we were younger. Even then, I was an avid fan of horror.
Well, I allowed you guys, like, it was kind of like a guilty pleasure. I allowed it once in a while, but you never had nightmares over it or freaked out.
If anything, they had nightmares about me.
But your sister did, and then she never could handle like those. But I tell you, which horror movie scared the crap out of your older brother and sister?
Oh.
You want to know?
What?
Yeah.
Darkness Falls.
That's no.
Wow.
No.
You know why? Because at that time, Drea would, she was at that age where she was losing teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd purposely wiggle her teeth to pull them out for money. So your Aunt Julie said, hey, let's play Darkness Falls. She'll stop taking her teeth out. Trust me. It helped me, it kept her son from doing it. So we go to put in Darkness Falls, right? Mm-hmm. We get through the very, the very first part of that movie where it shows just the shadowy part.
Isn't that the one with the
where it's the
tooth fairy?
Yes.
That was the one I was thinking about.
That one traumatized me.
That's a good one.
You guys, and so anytime kids started playing with their teeth, I'd show that.
It didn't really work on me, but it did scar me for
It freaked you out for a while.
Yeah, but I didn't stop doing it. I just kept wiggling out some teeth. I didn't want it for the money. I just wanted them out and gone.
But, oh my gosh. I tell you what. She ran up the stairs, because we lived in a townhouse at the time. Yeah. She ran up the stairs screaming, and I think she was like 7, almost 8.
Traumatized the 7-year-old?
just from the opening part of that movie, she screamed, "I'm not doing it! I'm going to sleep with the lights on!"
Mm.
Oh my gosh. She slept with the lights on for like 3 weeks. You weren't allowed to watch Popeye because of the violence? Really? I am what I am, what I am, what I am, what I am. I remember that one. Do you?
I remember when I was younger how I wouldn't eat my spinach until someone played Popeye or something like that, and that's when I loved Popeye when I was younger.
Yes, you did. It was
We have spinach. I like spinach.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
I prefer
I live
corn.
in a frying pan. Don't go swimming with bald-headed women. Don't. You remember that? Or
I've never heard that one. It was I can't.
live in a garbage can.
Yeah, I remember that part, but not the bald-headed women. The one I had something, always had with something else, but I don't remember.
It was like, I'm strong to the finish because I eat me spinach. Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot. What, Nugget? You want chicken sandwiches?
We're all at spicy patties.
On a spicy patty, huh?
We're all out of spicy.
Oh,
patties.
so regular patties.
Yeah, maybe all spicy.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, we gotta add that to the list. I want more spicy patties.
Well,
Dude, you guys can talk. I'm talking to the chat because y'all have seriously chat. You can also put the Sriracha on there.
Oh.
But 71 vampire movies. I remember when I was younger, I was really not into like vampire movies. I was really like, me and my Nugget have this long war of what's better, a werewolf or a vampire. I think vampires are cooler.
I prefer werewolves because,
and
let's be honest,
I haven't watched Twilight in a long time.
Oh no, I'm never watching that.
And I watched it.
Yes,
and I was
like,
like,
all of them glitter and glance.
And I was like, I was watching with my best friend. I said, and they were like, it's kind of creepy for Edward to just stare at Bella. It's like, but it's vampires. And the only reason I watched it is because there's vampires in it.
That makes it worse because they're blood-sucking monsters and one's staring directly at you.
In your room.
In your
like in the
room.
dark, you wake up and you see him, and then you like rub your eyes, and he's gone. Like
I'd be like,
you're like,
I'd be fast fucking scared. What are you doing in my room?
Right, creeper.
What is this stalker shit? I don't need this.
You'd be hanging garlic from your window.
I'm gonna put fucking garlic in my window. Pop that baby off.
And here we like when I was a kid, I was scared of. You're gonna laugh. The original Salem's Lot.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Okay, Salem's Lot. They had it's converted from a Stephen King novel.
Yeah.
Okay, and they had I think it was a 2-part series on TV. Do you remember that, Texas?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and it was starring the guy from Starsky and Hutch, was it?
Right, David Soul. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And anyway, that movie scared me because it's the little kid floating. I mean, he was floating, and he was tapping on the window or, scraping at the window to get let in. And I was like, oh, he's a vampire. Don't let him in.
Yeah, that's still one of the scariest scenes ever. That freaked me out, and I think that came out when I was 14 or something.
Oh, it was in the 70s, man. I was a kid. I was little. And I think that was 76 maybe.
It was a little later than that, about a couple of years. I think it was 78, 79, because I remember I was at least 13 or 14.
It was freaky, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then you have that one vampire that looks like
Nosferatu.
Yeah, but his teeth are crooked and shit, And
oh my god,
but
that was weird.
But Blissful and I have been watching on Shudder. They have the 101 greatest moments in in horror films, and they actually showed that on one of the episodes we saw, and she had never seen it, and she was kind of like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Yeah, that was scary as hell."
And you know what? We got we had I want to say the VHS or the DVD later on of it. And when I was an adult, and I go, it's still like that scene was still freaky.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene where David Soul went to the master vampire
Oh yeah.
script or whatever, and the Nosferatu looking dude it was like, oh my gosh, it was still creepy, and it was like 15 years later or whatever that I watched it, and I said those two scenes were still creepy. The rest of it, some of it you could do, whatever, but I don't know. There's just certain, like, I want to say certain cinematic horror moments that will stick with you, like that and the scenes from The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Oh yeah, the woman in the bathtub scene. That was nasty. Or even him running through the maze at the where he froze. It just there's certain parts of those movies that just stick with you.
I know a movie that will probably gross you out and stick with you for eternity. It is called Slither.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
That movie grossed me out.
Yeah, but
I fell asleep.
You know what? I tell you what kind of was the downfall of some horror is the sci-fi movies.
Those like with the weird like wobble metal sounds in the background do not make it scary. It just makes it look like it makes it sound like I'm in a 1-star kitchen and the chef's going whoa
with a pan like a cookie
yeah,
sheet,
just shaking it and going crazy,
shaking a big cookie sheet. Or you know what's worse is like I think it's movies like Sharknado that really ruin it.
Yeah.
That was just more of funny and cringy more than scary.
I enjoyed that movie because of the hilarity of it.
Oh my gosh!
They tried to make it scary; it did not work.
Well, the one thing, like talking about sci-fi movies, they showed Annihilation, and I thought that movie was horrible. And the funny thing is, they showed the best part of the film when they were talking about it.
Right.
And I was like, I'm telling Bliss, I'm like, I kept telling her, I go, this movie, it really sucked. And then when they start talking about this scene where because in the movie, it's like there's like these women scientists and they go into this thing and I forget what they called it, but they go inside this thing. It's all multicolored, and then everything that's inside it kind of melds together. So like you see these deer that are kind of formed in people and all this. So one of the women gets killed by this bear, and then later the bear is kind of morphing, like because they shot one of them, shot it or something, and then you see half of the bear's face is morphing into the woman's face, and it keeps making like this bizarre sound where it's like the woman screaming and it's actually the bear. And I told her, I said, this is the best scene in the whole movie. The rest of it's crap,
Oh. That's terrifying. But it's like, that's with a lot of like, what I've seen, a lot of like big production shows are like, we're going to talk about this terrible movie and show this really good scene so you'll watch it. No, we get good stuff and they get good stuff.
And so you'll be utterly disappointed.
Yes.
Yeah, just about. But I saw it when it came out in the theaters because it looked, the trailer they had looked really good. And then I'm just like, okay, why are all these subplots in this that don't make a lick of sense? And then the rest of it, I'm just like, okay, this is stupid, But the two movies that got me when I was younger was this one called Dead and Buried, mm-hmm. and that's a definite one for 71. But I'm sure she's already seen it, where there's this town, and they basically kill. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but they kill like the tourists. But there's a huge plot twists in it that you don't see coming, and you're like, holy balls, this is like nuts. And then the other movie was this one called The Believers with Martin Sheen. Anything with voodoo freaks me out. But there's this one scene that's not even related to the voodoo where his wife's making coffee, and uh, water spills on the floor, and their electrical outlet is it's short circuiting, and she goes to pick up the coffee pot, and she stands in the water, and she just starts getting shocked, and she's just shaking, and like smoking and stuff. And I mean, that just freaked me out. Like, it still freaks me out. I'm like, oh my god.
Personally, there are two horror movies that I like. One's more as it's hilariously stupid. The other is terrifying. If you've ever seen The Boy,
that's my favorite.
You can tell one of my preferences is psychological horror rather than full-on slasher. The other one is an animatronic horror movie called Willy's Wonderland.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. That movie is fantastic.
Nicky Cage.
Nicolas Cage was really good in that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to remember one line.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was one of the best things that I think he ever did, and he totally doesn't say a word. That was amazing.
He did everything with his facial expressions and his, like, when he was drinking those energy drinks or whatever, and like, here we go again. Like,
right.
Oh shit!
I watched that one night with her, with Nugget, and me. We enjoyed that together.
Yeah. It kind of showed me what I could expect for a movie I am hoping will come out and hasn't been canceled, I don't think.
The FNAF movie?
Yes. I have big expectations for it, since I believe Willy's Wonderland might have also been a Blumhouse production.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. So I'm expecting great things of Blumhouse Productions.
I like that, they're putting out some decent stuff.
He's had a string of really good movies lately.
Yeah.
And there's this one, it's not a horror movie, but his performance, he deserved an Oscar for it. It was called Pig. Oh. And it's basically about him. He has this wild, like a truffle pig, and he was a chef at one point. Yeah. And then his wife died, and so he's living with the pig inside this dirty shack, and he just wants to be left alone. And so this guy shows up that buys like truffles off of him so that he can sell to these chefs and stuff. So he's trying to get him to kind of come out of retirement, and he won't. And then one night these speed freaks break into his shack and they steal the pig. So then, of course, he's got to go back out in the world, and try to find who took the pig and whatnot. And I mean, it doesn't turn out, good, but his performance is just amazing. And Adam Arkin is in it, and he plays like this guy that was sort of his nemesis. And he's the one that had the pig stolen. Oh. And oh my God, it's just, I mean, it floors you. It's so good.
I don't know, a lot of people say some stuff about him, but I really do just love Nicolas Cage. He does so many different things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But when you can go through a whole freaking movie without saying anything, but you're doing it with your facial expressions, come on, that was so good. And they're like, is he really doing some of that stuff? And I'm like, yeah, because, he's a method actor.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so a lot of the moves he does, he's actually learned some.
There's another interesting one that he did too called Color Out of Space.
Oh, yeah?
And, yeah, that's a real trip.
your stuff's done, baby.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in
It's
there
not
so
pop, but Anyway.
it doesn't fall. You're welcome.
Oh, I just thought of a movie that really it wasn't creepy. It was just gross and weird.
Tusk?
I got
Tusk.
Tusk.
Ugh.
Oh god.
Oh.
Okay. Now here's the thing about Tusk. I like it a lot because Michael Parks was in it, and I've always loved Michael Parks since I was like a kid when he had this TV show called Then Came Bronson. And so I was really glad that Kevin Smith put him in a bunch of his movies. But the thing about Tusk is that, okay, supposedly, this is the way the story goes, but I still think it's BS. But supposedly there was somebody that had wrote an ad in some English newspaper, and they sent it to Kevin Smith, and then he told, it was like on a podcast, and he asked, he said, should I do this? I have an idea for this movie based on this ad somebody sent me. Should I do it? And everybody was like, yeah. So he did this movie. So he makes the movie. But there was a movie in the 70s called it's basically about a guy that gets turned into a snake at a freak show. And when I watched Tusk, I was like, this is a great movie, but that's not, he kept saying it was an original idea. And I'm like, there's no way in hell that was original. You stole that, or not stole it, but you based that off of, and stuff. So I was like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas that are recycled from like 60s, 70s,
No one expects old people to know.
Well, that's because
they expect their dementia to set in early.
They think it's all new to people your age group. Like, oh gosh, restarting the Scream, and I'm like,
it's just revamped.
Well, I didn't like it when it first came out because it came out, and then you got the I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, that one. The Man with the Hook. I remember.
Oh, God. It's like good gravy.
I like Michael Myers, you know why? Because there's no cringy phone calls. Look behind you. No, it's just him. You're changing, it's just him staring at you.
No, yeah, well, that's not creepy enough.
That's what makes it creepy. It's just he's staring at you no matter what. Like, he doesn't have to say a single thing.
I kid you not. Like, for years, there was, our family home was our, grandma's. That was the house I lived in when I had you. And so it was for, a good 50 years we had this family home, or whatever. Anyway, the neighbor next door, his name was Mr. Coffee. I swear to God, that was his name, Mr. Coffee. Okay? And my sisters would say, be careful with Mr. Coffee. Well, what do you mean? Mr. Coffee likes to look in the windows. Like, he's a creeper, right? And I thought, well,